killed my boy, didn't you?
Michael, what a horrible burp.
It's video evidence of you going, ugh, Michael. You're not going to get away with it.
Hi, I'm Kat.
And I'm Mike, and today we're reviewing
Hitman Absolution.
Absolution. Rapist joke.
Alright, so it's been 6.5 years since Blood Money. Die-hard fans were stoked for this.
Is it worth the wait, Kat? 6 years.
I think it's worth the wait.
As soon as I started playing this game, I'm reminded how fun it is to kill your target and hide the dead bodies.
Oh, it's so good. I know, it sounds weird, but it's really satisfying to get away with that and like to steal their clothing and put that on too. For those of you who don't know, it is an action-adventure stealth game. Agent 47 is who you play, and the plot in this one takes place after the events of Blood Money, and Diana, who was your handler, she has gone rogue, and she has taken his child from the agency, and you are now being told by the agency to go and kill her.
That's when Agent 47, your character, decides to go rogue himself.
I thought it was an interesting story. It wasn't quite as good as Blood Money.
Villains were a little too much for me. They were
really crude. They were really trying to push it in that way. Like, it was very dark humor, but there was a lot of dark comedy that was really funny.
I understand they're trying to get you to hate the villains, the characters, the bad
really
guys.
Hard. Like, it's like,
but it was like too much. It's like, no one's that evil.
Yeah. Now, for die-hard fans, you're going to want to play it on hard. They have made this game a lot easier. Easy mode is extremely simple, so much more easier not to get caught. So if you're a die-hard fan, just play it on hard. Don't bother going to easy, which I imagine you would anyways.
A new power-up is point shooting, and that's where you can kind of slow down time and actually select your targets strategically right in the head, and then basically execute and, you know, kill them all at the same time, which is very similar to Splinter Cell Conviction if you played that game. And there's also a precision shooting. You just slightly...
It's you like pulling down the trigger just a bit.
This is not, you know, hold your breath aiming. This is kind of like everything slows down a bit aiming, and for some reason it makes more sense.
They also have instinct mode, which is kind of like detective mode of Batman. Like, you can see
it's like
where
when
the
you
guys are walking around.
When you go to the bar, you need to turn that instinct mode on. All the perverts.
Creep us away.
It's Kat Jovey from Kat Chat.
You can see hiding places, and you can see where the bad guys are.
Yeah.
There's some pills that you can grab to poison a coffee or something.
That's what's awesome about it.
It'll show you where they are. So
many ways.
Again, it makes it easier, but if you're a die-hard fan and you don't want it to be easy, then you can just not use it or use it very rarely.
So many ways to kill someone, to distract them. You can throw a wrench. You can make an explosion. You can turn a radio on.
You can stab them. You can harpoon them. You can burn them. You can feed them to pigs.
Push them off a ledge. Poison their food, like you said.
Drown them.
There's not just one way to do the objectives, which can be its strength and its weakness, because when you play a mission and it just everything goes so perfectly and easy, you kind of like just blast through it, which happened to me a couple missions. I'm like, that kind of felt unfulfilling. Like,
yeah, replay value is definitely there because you could subdue everyone, or in the next one you could kill everyone, or in the next one you could be sneaky about it, and then in the next one you could just go and guns a-blazing.
Every casualty that you create, every person you kill who's not your target, you lose money from the contract, right? You're going to want to go and play that mission again in a completely different way, because we always say to ourselves, what always happens in these games, we go, I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just going to sneak past everyone. I'm not going to kill anyone. I'm going to be... And before you know it, you're in a sticky situation.
And you're like killing SWAT members.
You're doing point shooting on every freaking guy you see.
I got really impatient for like the main second mission, King of Chinatown, and I ended up just shooting him.
I love just killing someone, taking their disguise, but I thought that was flawed a bit too. I thought it was flawed because there were some situations where a costume or a guy who's wearing a ski mask over his head, and I'm like, that'd be perfect. I'll take that. And you take it, and all you do is you get his uniform, but you don't get the ski mask. I'm like, it makes so much more sense.
But sometimes, like, you can be like the chicken mascot, and you get
but that's the thing. That shows me that they could have done it, but they didn't.
But they didn't. Yeah.
But it was fun to you know, take down someone, choke him, take his clothes off, and hide his body, and then do it to another guy, and then they're in the doggy style position.
Yeah, it's weird. The score was great. It got me really nervous, especially at the beginning. You adjust, but you still enjoy it throughout the whole time. I was using headphones to play on the PC, and I forgot about the world around me. It was great. It looks beautiful too. Light effects were wonderful, except for the light that bounces off his head constantly. Why is his head so shiny?
There's a big orange glow coming off his head. It does look amazing. And it looks great on the consoles too. It's a very good looking game.
The audio design was really nice as well. Your guns all sound good. Everything sounds great.
And using the instinct is very important, I forgot to mention, when you're wearing your uniform, is yes, you can walk up to another security guard wearing a security uniform, but if you're not using the instinct, he's going to recognize you're an imposter.
And by using instinct, you're like kind of covering your face a little bit as you walk by, and that uses up your instinct. You only have so much.
I never really ran out. Only when I'm going nuts with the point shooting.
Yeah. So you can play the story mode, or you can play contract mode.
Like, it's not a traditional multiplayer versus.
Yeah, it's not like Assassin's Creed.
No. Instead, you create your own contract.
Which is cool.
Yeah, you go into a city or map, any map in the campaign.
So you pick 3 different targets, and then you also pick how you're going to kill them.
Well, you can pick
do it first.
You can pick 1 guy, 2 guys, or 3 guys, up to 3 guys, and it can't be just anyone on the map. And you can decide like what weapon to use, what outfit to wear, to take him out silently, to hide his dead body.
Just straight up kill him.
Yeah.
And then you can you go through and you do this contract, and then your time shows up on how well you did.
Yeah.
And then your friends can then take up that contract and try to do it faster.
And you can challenge your friends to try out your contract. And I like how they did it that way instead of just like selecting it, and you have to actually do it to prove that it's possible.
Yeah.
I gave Jay a contract to try to defeat, and he took a nap. He didn't succeed. I just thought there were some things that were flawed with the game. The AI.
Like sometimes the bad guy will run right past you to a place of cover.
When the enemy AI spots you, that's when they get really dumb. They just start firing anything. Because of that AI problem, some missions don't feel that fulfilling.
But overall, I thought it was fantastic. What would...
We better say our score before this poster falls. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's an excellent game. I recommend it to anyone who likes the Hitman series. Or espionage. You love it. That's your life.
It is my life.
You're stealing, you take. But what do you give this out of 10, Kat?
I give this a 9. I loved it. There was a bit of AI stuff that I didn't like. I could deal with cruise, but some of them were...
A bit sexual?
No, I don't care about that. It was just a little over the top for me. Overall, I loved it. If you're a hardcore fan, you might be a little sad that it is a bit easier than the old games, so play it on hard, and don't use instinct mode that much.
Don't use points. Don't use point shooting.
Sometimes it forces you to do it, though.
There's like a few times.
A couple.
That sucks by the way, that sucks that it forces you.
I know.
Sometimes.
I know.
When you're killing a boss or something. Taylor Swift is in it. Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you.
Thank you for watching 3 Kilobytes. Remember to like the video.
And subscribe.
Jason will return one day.
Yep, and follow us on Twitter. Boom, boom, boom.